and on YouTube this morning. So I am trying to get used to this new setup here. So bear with me if I miss comments or if I screw this up completely or if anything goes totally wrong. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just keep that in mind as we continue through this live video. Morning, everybody. I'm going to check and make sure these streams are coming up and working as they should be. We're going to be multi-streaming now. Got this whole program all set up to go live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time, but I want to make sure it's working before I get to talking, because otherwise it's going to be upsetting. Oh, is it coming up? Well, I'm on Facebook. All right, it's working on Facebook. Let's get over to YouTube and check that out. By the way, if you want a link to my YouTube so you can subscribe, which would be awesome, the link is crazy. It's a bunch of letters and numbers and stuff, but go to YouTube and search for either Matty Jablonsky or The Point of Change. You search for either of those on YouTube and you'll come to my YouTube page. Let me see. I want to find out if I'm live on YouTube right now. I sure am. What? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Had a lot of people asking me lately if I was on YouTube, and I was like, no. So finally I decided, you know what, I'm tired of answering no to that. I mean, I am on YouTube, but it's like a very limited selection of videos. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see it's usually just my weekend interviews. All of those are on there, and then I got some of my early videos that I uploaded on there, and of course the video about using marijuana and recovery. Of course, I'm very proud of that video, so I uploaded that over there as well, but not a lot of videos over there. So I wanted to find a way to do this on both. So here we are. We got this. We just got to use this computer, which I got to get used to a little bit because it's not quite the same setup as doing a live video on your phone, which is the way I really prefer to make my live videos, is on my phone. I feel like it feels more personal for some reason. Don't ask me. I'm crazy. So let me see. How do I get the comments from YouTube? Looks like I get both comments. I don't have any viewers on YouTube right now, but looks like I get both comments in one feed right here. So that'll be good. That'll be good. I don't want to miss comments if they come in on YouTube as well, you know? But either way, if you are watching on YouTube, you can come on over to Facebook and check out The Point of Change on Facebook. There's a lot more content over there, written posts, memes, stuff like that. But I'm live every single day at 10 a.m. Central, except for Sundays, because I'm at church on Sunday morning, so I don't go live on Sundays, except for Sunday evenings. We do the Point of Change meets, and I bring on a guest from the recovery world, somebody to share their story of addiction and recovery. Sometimes it's just somebody in recovery that wants to share their story. Other times it's a creator or a musician or another influencer. In July, I really want to highlight a bunch of different influencers that have influenced me and have helped me in my recovery journey. So I want to have a guest every Sunday, somebody from, that makes their own Facebook Live videos, has their own page, somebody you guys can go follow. And then in August, we're doing the Music of Recovery Month again, guys. You guys remember, if you were here last year, we had an awesome lineup for the Music of Recovery Month. So in August this year, we got Diamond Betcher, my buddy, the creator of the Recovery Ribbon. He's got a new album coming out. Ooh. So he's going to be here to pump up his new album. We got Surge. I haven't completely set a date for any of these people yet, but they have said okay. And I am reaching out. Hey, get up there. Get up there. And we got a Cloud Gang shirt, guys. Oh, yeah, this one's mine. This one's mine. Cloud Gang on the back. What's it say? We are strong. We are courageous. We are resilient. We are survivors. We are Cloud Gang. Boom. Boom. It was awesome meeting all those guys. Finally putting faces to the names and stuff, you know what I mean? Then we got a Blameless Children shirt, Andrew Hager. Oh, it was nice meeting that guy too. On the back it says, let God in and win. Blamelessheart.org. Sorry about that. There you go. Oh, and here we go, JP. JP, there it is, the official Minnesota's Hope Dealers, established in 2019. On the back, we have Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, Pain to Purpose. Amanda Marker. Oh, yeah, that's another one of Caitlin's shirts. She got it. Nothing on the back on that one. But Pain to Purpose. Oh, yeah. Check out that page on Facebook if you guys don't already follow. I believe it's Purpose to Passion now. She changed it from Pain to Purpose to Passion. And Recover Out Loud. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, man. I'm super pumped to have all these shirts. Super pumped to have my girlfriend flaunting recovery walking around, too. That is awesome. I got some pains in my ribs today, bro. It's not cool. It's not cool. Just a tightness right underneath my chest. Heidi, it was awesome to see you and Caitlin Patricia Tanner as well. Caitlin, I love you, lady. It was awesome meeting you and Johnny. I'm so glad you guys came out there. Curtis, and the comedy starts early with Matty Jablonsky almost falling down the stairs. Thank goodness you didn't, though. Yeah, it was close. It was close. I was going a little fast, and I caught one of the edge of the stairs with the back of my heel, I was like, oh, man, that was close. That would have been bad. There's a glass table at the bottom of the stairs, too, bro. Let's see. Angie, those are awesome shirts. I'm so jelly. Oh, and there were so many more there. It was hard for me to find anybody that had a small. I didn't get to buying shirts right away. I went a little later and started looking at shirts, so I got a couple mediums. Wah, wah, wah. They're going to look like a dress on me. But it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Brandy, wish I could have come out to see all of the awesomeness. It would have been awesome to meet you, too. Shelly Shaw, I got 10 months clean and sober today. Right on, Shelly Shaw. Guys, throw up every heart in the world. Throw up thumbs ups. Every positive emoji that you can throw up. Throw that sucker up for Shelly Shaw. Oh, that is awesome. 10 months. Oh, Elizabeth Jones hits 1 month off of heroin today. Right on, Elizabeth. Keep going. That is awesome. Mikey Concepts gave me a sticker of Mickey Mouse flipping the bird, and it says F heroin. Oh, yeah, Mikey Concepts, dude. He's my dude. He's my dude. If you guys don't already follow Dream XL or have yourself some Dream XL apparel in your closet or in your dresser, you need to get your butts over to Dream XL Collective right here on Facebook and go check out Mikey Concepts designs and everything else he does, because holy crap, that dude is awesome. Man, I hung out with him at the recovery event. I've talked to Mikey for a long time, but hanging out with him at the event, and then afterwards he met up with Caitlin and I, and we went out and we just grabbed some Wendy's and just stood in the parking lot and just bullshitted for like over an hour. It was friggin' awesome to meet up with him. He's a really great guy. He's as awesome in person as he is online. Brandy, I have a clean and sober hoodie he did up for Drew. Right on, Brandy. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, all kinds of congratulations going on. That is freaking awesome, guys. Sam Rourke, how are you? Holy crap, I'm so glad you're here right now. Woo! You were freaking awesome. Holy crap, guys. Sam played a song at the Recover Out Loud event, and, oh, dude, oh, man, that voice, that music, it was just had me going, man. I loved it, and the story behind the song is amazing. I sent Sam a message this morning, so Sam, if you're down, I would love to have you come on here and share your story of addiction and recovery and how it turned your life into music and what you're doing nowadays. I would love to hear your story. Chris, I had my son arrested this morning. It was getting to the point that I was scared of him. He's a meth addict. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Chris. I hate it when it gets to that point. I really do. But that's the point of change right there. That's the point of change. Hopefully, that's his point of change. You get to those moments where things just have to frickin' change, or you're going away. You're going to prison, or you're going to die, or something horrible is going to happen in your life. And that's why I started the point of change. You get to this point where you realize you got to make some huge changes in your life. And hopefully, I pray to God, I pray for this, and I hope, and I'm dreaming for it, that he goes through this, and that he doesn't take it as judgment, and he doesn't take it as being attacked, and that he realizes that these are his own actions that brought this upon him, and that maybe being in that jail cell gets the dope cleared out of his head enough to where he starts to see through that veil, through the cloud of addiction. Once you start to see through it, and you start to see how your actions are affecting others and how it's destroying your family. Like me, once I seen it, man, that was a huge pivotal moment to realize all the pain I was causing. And then I was destroying myself. I mean, now I sit here with fake teeth. Like, you know, the damage we do to ourselves is bad, but the damage we do to our families is friggin' terrible, man. But it can be fixed. It can be repaired, guys. You can come back from anything, I promise you. After 13 years of meth use, I can promise you that you can step away from anything. Trust me. Paul, I'll be 2 years clean on Wednesday. What a journey it has been, but never going back to the dark side ever again. Right on, Paul! Sam, thank you so much. I did message you back. I will be there. Right on, Sam. Awesome to hear. Awesome. So there you have it, guys. The third guest signed up for the Music of Recovery Month in August. We got Sam Rourke. Awesome. I'm excited about that. I'm pumped. Caitlin's going to be so pumped, too. I told her that I was going to reach out to you and see if I could get you to come on, and she was like, oh, that would have been really cool if you'd had a chance to talk to her there, because, you know, you're not the only one that met complications at that event, too. You know, I was supposed to speak, and I got bumped for time restraints. There was a few other people that had disappointments there, so I hope you don't take it to heart. I hope you come back and do another event, or, you know, come back to that event next year, Sam. It was really awesome. Your song was amazing, and I really wanted to hear the whole band. I really did. But things happen. It's all in God's hands. Maybe there was a reason for it, you know, and I hope you find a reason behind that and keep trucking with what you're doing, because it's freaking amazing. All right, let me see what else we got. Elizabeth says, Chaz Smith, Kolichi is clean for 6 years today. Right on. Amen, Elizabeth. That is friggin' awesome. Let me go back up, make sure I'm not missing anything. Giving some shout-outs. Going up, going up, going up. Linzer's here. You seem so far away on your computer, right? Not right up in your face. It's different. It's different, but I think we can get used to this, right? Because now we're multi-streaming. We're on Facebook and YouTube at the same time right now. Isn't that awesome? I think it's awesome. I think it's going to expand the audience. I mean, right now, and I hope you guys, anybody that's watching this, if you would, go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, go over there and search for The Point of Change. You don't have to do it right now, but please subscribe to The Point of Change on YouTube, because I need to build that up a little bit, and hopefully those videos will start getting noticed over there. We can start spreading this message a little farther, right? Jonathan, rock on Kolichi, right on. Good morning, Luisha. How are you doing? Good to see you this morning. Shelly says, keep rocking recovery. Amen. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing through it, because one of the key factors in recovery is just time away from those drugs. That is a huge key factor in this recovery process. It's just getting your brain cleared back out, getting the meth and the heroin and the pills out of your brain for long enough to where you'll start to see shit. You know what I mean? Like, you might not, even if you're in that, you're like, I see everything. What are you talking about? I know what's going on. And even sometimes, like myself, I knew I was doing wrong. A lot of us have done things that we knew were wrong, but we did them anyways. Most of us have, you know. But once you start to see the other damage, you know, the eyes open up and you realize, wow, my room is disgusting. The places I hang out is disgusting. The people I hang out with don't care about me. Like, once you start to see all that, it's hard to go back to looking at it. It's hard to put the veil back over. Hey, I forgot to change my alerts for YouTube. Right on, East Coast Canada boys. Just subscribed. Right on. So I didn't customize that one. Have you guys noticed all the other ones were like Link from Legend of Zelda, and we got Tails from Sonic, and we got all these other ones, and that one was that's the standard one. That's the default one, is a zombie with the little chime and the green letters. So I'm going to have to get in here in the settings and update some stuff. Michael McNeil, just subscribe to your YouTube channel, brother. Oh, that was Michael. Right on, Michael. Thank you for that subscription, brother. Curtis, spread the message of a clean and sober life across the world, Matty Jablonsky. Amen, Curtis. Amen. Michael, that was me. I got you, brother. I got you. Brandy made a weird noise too. Yeah, a little ding 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 ding. That's the standard setup there. That's the default one when you first start a Streamlabs account. That's the default alert for everything. Everything makes that alert. I had to go in and customize it, so we had the Mario star for stars. So if you throw up stars, you get the little Mario Nintendo 64 star comes over here. If you share the stream, Link from Legend of Zelda pops up over here, just so you know, just in case you want to see Link, you know. You can go ahead and share this stream out, and the Legend of Zelda will come up over here, just so you know. Just, I'm not going to stop till somebody shares it. I'm not going to do it. We got Link getting his sword and shield out. Any second. Any second, he's going to get ready. He's going out. Just give a second. No shares? Not even one? Nobody? Ah, there we go. Rose Rodriguez liked the stream. Thank you, Rose. But that was Tails. That wasn't even a share. We're waiting. Nobody's going to stream. No, not a single one. Nobody wants to see Link over here, huh? All right. That's fine. I didn't want to see him anyways. It's okay. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I love you guys. If you feel led to share, hey, Amanda saved me from my self-deprivation. And Angie does too. Thank you guys. See? See, I need validation, you guys. I need it. Elizabeth Seward, hello, Elizabeth on YouTube. What's going on? Woo! We got somebody on YouTube. Hey, look at that. Curtis Tooman. Right on, look at that. Woo! I really got to change that. Maybe I should set up a chime for the other one so you notice it a little more too. Maybe. Kelly, hey, there we go. D. Willis, I shared also. Right on. Hopefully the thing will catch up. It'll catch up. Hey, look at that. Amanda A. just subscribed. Look at that. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Angie, so I didn't get to go to the event this weekend. Got hubby, but hubby bought, there's the share. But hubby bought me a brand new car for my birthday. Our first brand new car. That's freaking awesome. Congratulations on your first brand new car. Guys, throw up some hearts for her birthday and for Angie getting a new car. That's freaking awesome. Those are the blessings of recovery right there. Moving up in the world. Making the steps. Not necessarily working the steps. I don't work the steps. But, whatever your recovery path, you keep doing that. You keep doing whatever works for you, right? I'm not a 12-step guy. I'm not a meeting guy. I'm not a AA, NA, CR, CA, MH. Well, I guess I kind of take a little bit from everything and borrow a little bit from each program and apply it to my life and just live a life of recovery and just stay away from the things that were killing me and live a much better life, stay happy, I stay healthy, and I stay clean. And that's just keeping on with it, man. Just keep rocking. Jonathan Dominic, when we get into caramel ribbon crunch again, my treat. Oh, man. I don't know. You might have to take away my man card if I start drinking too many of those. That was like the most delicious girly coffee drink I've ever had in my life, though, brother. I'm down. Shelly, I went to my first recovery event Saturday, Unity Day. I was there from like 9 a.m. to 5-ish that day. It was a forking blast. Right on, Shelly. That's freaking awesome. I was so pumped about Recover Out Loud, dude. Like, getting there was awesome. It was such a good day. I did have a few disappointments that came my way that day, of course. My expectations got up on a few things, and then they got dropped, if you guys seen my video the other day. But it was still an amazing day. All in all, on the whole, met some of the most amazing, influential people I've ever met in my life and got to spend time with a lot of people that I talk to on Facebook on a regular basis, but we never actually see each other. And we actually had to, stand face-to-face and exchange hugs. Oh, it was such a good time, dude. And B-Rain picking me up, that's going to be a memory that I will never forget. And neither will Caitlin. Caitlin absolutely loved that. She was like, oh my God, he picked him up. D. Willis, next month I will have 30 years clean. Holy crap! That's friggin' hashtag life goals on that one, man. Holy crap, that is awesome. I love that. Elizabeth Seward, keep doing recovery. Right on. I shall. Keep working recovery. Keep helping the next person. Keep appreciating and applauding progress. And keep loving people where they're at. There was one thing I'll talk about. Hey, my big brother's here. I was just going to say, the one thing I want to talk about is my big brother. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I was going to say. But I do love my big brother. Thanks for being here, Troy. I'm going to see Troy. Is it next weekend? No, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this weekend. So not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. Going up north, going to hang out with my big brother. It's going to be awesome. Brandy, 2 more days and I have 3 years and 7 months clean and sober. Yay, as long as God allows it. Right on, Brandy. Keep pushing. Keep going. Sue Whitelock. I wish my son didn't have to go to the meetings. Maybe he would be here. That's where he got that hot dose at a court-ordered meeting. So I say F them. Meetings do open up opportunities for chaos. That's for sure. Oh, what I was going to say, I was going to talk about this for a second, is, and I'm not trying to point any fingers. I'm not trying to call people out when that's the whole reason I'm talking about this is these call-outs, When you call somebody out publicly in front of people on a way that you feel their recovery is lacking, when you were to, my idea when a call-out is happening, when somebody's calling out actions, It's speaking the truth without showing any love. That's what I define a call out as. You know, you're not considering their traumas. You're not considering what they've gone through. You're not considering that it's different strokes for different folks. You're not considering that there are many paths to recovery. You're just calling out things that you see wrong about their recovery. And it generally doesn't lead anywhere good. It generally pushes people away. They feel judged. They feel ostracized. They feel like they can't reach out anymore. They feel shut down just because, for instance, MAT programs and people saying, you know, Suboxone's not sober, methadone's not sober, marijuana's not sober, things like that. This is a huge problem in the recovery world because I believe it's an area where we have the most division within our recovery community is between people who are 100% clean and people who either work an MAT program or people who believe they have achieved a successful recovery and they return to use of mild substances. These different categories of recovery are all very valid, and they are all awesome ways to find recovery. They are all extremely valid in my mind because I've seen people do amazing things. I've seen amazing things happen in recovery. So for me, it's whatever you believe, whatever keeps you working forward, whatever keeps you staying away from the things that were killing you. Friggin' awesome, and keep friggin' doing it. You'll never get a word of judgment from me here. I might ask you questions about your MAT program, ask you what your dosage is at, something like that. But I'm not judging, I'm not condemning, I'm not in any way trying to exclude you from anything. At this recovery event this weekend, someone was using marijuana in the parking lot. Which, on that, I will say, there is a time and place for everything, and a recovery event parking lot is generally not the place you should be using marijuana, even if it's medicinal. But on that note, if it's medicinal and you were in this environment with this crowd and started to have a panic attack or your anxiety started to kick in and you felt you needed to step away into the parking lot and smoke some CBD or smoke some THC or whatever it is that you were doing, you know, whatever it is that you use to help your mental health and help your recovery, if that were the case, you know, awesome. Awesome. But either way, someone used marijuana in the parking lot. Now, to me, yeah, time and place for anything, but also, like I said, different strokes for different folks. We don't know what they were going through in that moment. Perhaps it's something that helps them with their recovery, anything like that. And it was kind of put on blast. When I don't know if somebody smelled it or if somebody saw them doing this or what it was. Now, like I said, on one level, I think there is a level of respect we need to maintain for all levels of recovery. So when you are someone who's using marijuana in your recovery, that's fine, that's totally cool. But I still believe you should have respect for people who don't. I still believe you should have respect enough to know that that could trigger somebody else and to get your ass completely away from them. You know, they shouldn't even have been smelling it. But even if they were smelling it, whatever. Two bads don't make it right. So if he was doing this wrong, but then they made an announcement about it. They called it out like on stage that somebody was smoking marijuana in the parking lot. Like they went on stage and freaking grabbed the microphone and made this announcement that there was somebody outside using marijuana. Like totally put them on blast. Totally ostracizing this person. Totally calling them out without showing love towards the situation. In the last place on earth that you want people to feel uncomfortable, the last place on earth that you want anyone to feel like they cannot be themselves or to feel unwelcome in any way, and you go up on stage and call somebody out on something that you thought was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it felt really wrong of them to do that. To me, it felt like, honestly, if I wasn't there for very specific reasons and attending and thought I was going to be speaking and all this other stuff, I probably would have left when they did that. Just because knowing my own recovery and then seeing them call that person out, it made me even feel like it hit me. Because I was like, I'm supposed to be speaking here today and they just called somebody out on smoking marijuana and I use marijuana in my recovery. So should I not speak now? Or, you know, honestly, in my heart, it made me think, I really need to speak now. Now is the time that I really need to be on that stage. I need to talk about, I need to talk about my recovery and let them know that, hey, you can't just be calling people out, I mean, if it's something that you feel is really wrong and something you feel like, hey, this person's abusing it, or this person's not using it correctly, or this person's still trapped in an active addiction and they're just switching one drug for another, something like that, you know what I mean? Like, pull them to the side. Have a man-to-man, one-on-one conversation with that person. Or even on the level, like I said, it is a little disrespectful, and there is a time and place for everything. They could have had somebody go to that guy, or, found out who it was instead of just going and making an announcement that whoever it was, they could have maybe looked into it a little bit, found out who it was, and then somebody could have spoke to him, and been like, hey man, that's, to each their own, but you shouldn't be doing that here, please, if it's something medicinal or if it's something that's helping your recovery, that's cool, but you're going to have to leave the grounds, man, go somewhere else and, take a hit or whatever and then come back, that's fine, but you can't be doing this right here, It could have been handled much better, I feel, much better. But like I said, I feel like that's a huge area where we have room for improvement in the recovery community, in the unity world, because unity seems to be confused with uniformity. People think in order to have unity within something that it has to be uniform, that everybody has to be doing the same thing or doing it the same way, and that's unity. That's not unity. Unity is being together and working together on this despite the differences, despite the fact that we're doing it a different way, despite the fact that we don't see eye to eye on everything. We're still working together on a common goal, which is to help people find recovery and to spread the word that drugs will ruin your life. You know what I mean? And if we can find a way to work together on that despite our differences, that is unity right there. That's us unifying and being together, And this animosity between different forms of recovery and one being the right way, and then they turn and they look at the other people that are doing it the other way and they say, hey man, those guys are going to fail. Guarantee they're going to fail because they don't go to meetings or because they're using methadone or because they're using Suboxone or because they're using marijuana or whatever. I guarantee they're going to fail and we're not going to talk to them. We're not going to spend any time with them. Honestly, those are the people that need to hear this message. Those are the people that need to hear us talk about recovery, especially if you feel that they're doing it wrong. I don't feel they're doing it wrong. I feel they're doing whatever it takes. They're putting in the extra effort. If somebody tried to get 100% clean and it didn't work a few times, or maybe they never even did that, whatever. Somebody uses an MAT route or marijuana to find recovery, and then we look at them and we like dog on them right away, And the way I look at it, I understand that from the view of somebody who's 100% clean, having any kind of maintenance drug or any kind of mood or mind altering substance in your body means that that's not right for their recovery. It's like an area of your life is still dirty when we're trying to push for clean, we're trying to push for cleanliness. It's almost like an area of your life is still dirty. But there's no need for judging them. There's no need for putting them down. You don't know what they've been through, and even if you do know what they've been through, you don't know how they handle trauma compared to how you handle trauma. People process trauma differently, People have different levels of how they feel about certain situations, For instance, like I was talking to a guy this morning, a good friend of mine, and he was talking about something that happened not directly in his life. It happened to somebody else, but it was really hurting him in the heart. And to me, I was like, dude, that's not your problem. You're personalizing their pain. You're putting it on yourself. But, he said, I'm trying not to do that, but this is how I am. This is part of my mental illness. This is part of how I process this. And I know, it's not right for me to feel bad about my cousin's best friend's former roommate who's having a struggle, but it's really hurting me and it's really making me grieve. And there was, and I stopped, I didn't know exactly what to say. I was just there for him. I just talked to him about it. I said, I totally understand the grieving process, brother, and I get it. Even though in my head I was thinking, dude, why are you feeling these emotions about somebody who's 3, 4, you get 4 or 5 adjectives before you said who it was. It's my cousin's best friend's brother, sister's cousin's roommate, and they had a problem in their life and it's affecting me. Now, to me, that wouldn't affect my life at all. I'd be like, this person has no bearing on my life, But to him, he was like, wow, this really sucks and I'm grieving for that person. You know what I mean? We handle trauma and we handle things in life differently. And just because one person finds that they need medication of some sort, that's no reason to look down on them. No reason to talk bad about them. No reason for any of that. We all have our different journeys in this world, And it's kind of like if you it's like you're judging people for having a dirty dish in their house. You know what I mean? You go to somebody's house and you see they got dirty dishes. Do you instantly go, oh, well, then they're a bad person? I found dirty dishes in their kitchen. Can't believe it. They didn't do their dishes for 3 days. They must be a horrible person. We don't do that. But you find out somebody's using marijuana, and it seems to come with all these other negative emotions towards that person when somebody who's 100% clean in recovery finds out that another person in recovery is using marijuana, or even a non-addict for that matter. You find out that a non-addict friend of yours uses marijuana or drinks alcohol, and we instantly get this holier-than-thou attitude. and we look down on that person when there's no need for that. There's no need for looking down on anybody, no matter where they are in their life, no matter what they got going on with substance abuse and stuff. I mean, it's a problem we've all faced. It's a problem we've all had. And even if it's, even, I know that there also is this mindset in the recovery community, you know, that I shouldn't say mindset. I should say it's just counterintuitive for us to think that a person who has a substance use disorder could use a minor mood altering substance and have it help them with their addiction. That's kind of radical thinking. It's kind of it's counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense when you think about it. You think, well, a person with substance use disorder, you got to get the substances out of their life, you know. But we're finding more and more over time here, and through, you know, evidence-based research, that that's exactly what's happening. Is we're finding that people in recovery are using either marijuana, methadone, Subutex, Suboxone, whatever it is, and I myself, I am against pharmaceuticals. So those last three, the Subutex, Suboxone, and methadone, to me, I'm like, hey, you should probably step away from those. And that's just my personal opinion, you know, and I don't push that on anybody. I just advise it, you know, if you're on that kind of stuff, you know, and they're keeping you on it long term, it's got adverse side effects. That's why I advise against it, because I don't like pharmaceutical drugs. I would much rather have you use a natural substance such as marijuana, CBD, or any kind of a natural thing that can help you stay away from drugs that were killing, the drugs that were killing you, and help you maintain a better life and a life of recovery. I'm all for any route to recovery. There are many roads to addiction, so I believe we need as many roads to recovery as we can get. Oh, let's see. Angie, but really it's not your business what someone else is doing, period. It really isn't. It really isn't, unless you are in a position where it is your business. For instance, if that person is in your life, you know, which is why I also advise people that, you know, whatever road of recovery you're going to go down, just make sure your support system is okay with it, and that they still are your support system. You know, you don't want to have something in your recovery that pushes people out, you know, that makes if your family's like, dude, you've got to stop, well, then you need to consider what your family feels on this. You know what I mean? You need to take other people's opinions in. But at the same time, like I've said, if you're living a better life, you're living a better life. You know, I've met people that are 100% clean and sober, and they are friggin' miserable, and they are not working on themselves. They are not recovering. They are abstaining from drug use, but they are not recovering. They are still angry. They are still codependent. They are still friggin' justifying shit. They are still friggin', you know, dry drunk, or whatever you want to refer to it, whatever the term is that you put on it. You know, we have a lot of that happen. And then I've met people who are on a maintenance drug, or using marijuana, or feel that they have achieved a lasting recovery, and now they've gone back to, you know, they have beer on the weekends or whatever, and they smoke a little weed. I've met people that are doing that process, and they are so much happier and living so much better of a life. So just because you're clean and sober doesn't mean you're recovering, and just because you're not clean and sober doesn't mean you're not recovering. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are different processes for everybody. Faith Renee, I agree. All of the above. Right on, Faith. I'm glad to have you here. Author, success is measured by our own expectations, I believe. Amen. Amen. I love that. You definitely have to have your own expectations, or you have to define for yourself what success means. That's a big thing that we need to do in our recovery. What is a successful life to you? If being a successful person to you, if you define that as never using a substance again and going to meetings for the rest of your life, and you know, whatever you define it as, then go for it. Do that, you know. But if you define success as simply being there for your family, living, you know, carrying your own weight in this world, having your bills paid, and just, you know, being a good person, which is what I say. I say if you're carrying your own weight in this world, you're living a successful life. If you're there for your family, you're living a successful life. You know what I'm saying? So define for you what success means, and then chase that, you know, and it's okay, whatever your definition of success comes to. Brian O'Brien trying this venue. Hey, how you doing over there on YouTube, Brian? How's it going? How's it going? How's the image? Do I look good? Which side? Which is my good side? Is it this side? Or is it this side? Oh, you let me know. You let me know. Author, happiness, health, and self-love. I should say Christy, not author. Why am I calling you author? Because that's the first word I'm reading. That's why. Angie, using a maintenance drug is okay as long as you're doing it better and you're doing better in your life and changing things. Amen. Amen. That is a huge thank you so much for bringing that up, Angie. It is so much more than just taking a maintenance drug. A lot of people say that you've just switched addictions. You've just changed one substance for another. That's true in some cases. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. We definitely have people who get off of the hard drugs and they switch over to the, Subutex, Suboxone, Methadone, or marijuana, and they still lie. They're still manipulating. They're still using, way too much on a daily basis. They're abusing their medications. They're still in that active mindset. And in those cases, the mindset is the most important part of it. It's not a matter of the maintenance drug or not a maintenance drug or whatever they're doing. The process is just is the process. You know what I mean? The important part is the attitude towards it and what we're trying to achieve here. When a person does that, when you go from illicit drug addiction or pill addiction or whatever it is, and you step down to a maintenance drug or harm reduction or whatever you want to say, when you step down, if you have the mindset of still working these principles into your life and accepting a higher power and you want to do better, you want to keep a job, you want to be there for your family, and you actually still go through the process of, doing the actual freaking bureaucratic freaking paperwork, doing the assignments from your probation officer, getting into a group counselor or something and having them, going through your past and looking at it and analyzing it and facing those things and doing all of that, that still has to be a factor in this. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to stop doing the meth, I'm going to start smoking weed, and I'm going to get better. No, it doesn't work like that, bro. There's still so much more that goes into this. There's still so much more work. It is so important. I really emphasize therapy or counseling or even, like I said, AA and NA. I might not be in the program, but I did attend meetings in the beginning, and they were a huge part. Those meetings I attended in the first 90 days of my recovery were influential. They were super important for me because it showed me that it was possible. I seen other people who were, in jail and out of jail and frickin' doing all these drugs and doing all this stuff, and I seen them living a better life. And it proved to me that this is possible, because I had always thought everybody was faking. Because in active addiction, one of the ways that we would, when you meet a new guy and you're kind of shy and you don't want to tell him that you do meth or heroin or whatever, one of the ways that I would use to do that is I would say, I used to do meth. Or I used to do heroin, I used to do that, I don't anymore. That was a way for me to hint that I still do it, and then the other guy would go, oh yeah, I used to do meth too, and then it turned into, oh, hey man, if you want some, I can get some later, you know what I mean? So in my mind, I had seen so many people faking it. I had seen so many people that were in drug addiction for decades, in my mindset, this was not something you came back from. Meth addiction, heroin addiction, these were not things that you came back and lived a successful life after it. I figured everybody was just full of shit, But seeing other people that were making it work, whether they were doing it 12 steps or not, there was just there was some things about the 12-step program that I didn't see eye to eye with. I didn't like, telling people to admit that they're powerless, and I still don't. I still don't think that's a valid step. But I mean, if that was part of your process, that's awesome. If that helped you, that's awesome. But for me, it didn't help me to think that I was powerless. It crippled me even more to feel that I was powerless over my addiction. It wasn't until I started telling myself I am not powerless over this. I am more powerful than anything in this world. I am a son of God. I am a star seed. I am made out of the same shit that the stars are made out of. That's when I started to realize my true potential and my true worth and my true ability to stay away from methamphetamine. For me, it was when I realized I was more powerful than the drugs, and that the drugs were not this all-powerful, friggin' overpowering being that just had this death grip on me, that it was me and my own choices and my own bullshit that I didn't deal with that caused me to go that far into. It was a lacking in my life in other areas. In some ways, if you think about your brain as a computer and a program, there's a whole conspiracy theory behind that, by the way. But if you think about yourself as a computer and your brain as a computer, Drugs, our drug of choice was like a hack program. It was whatever you were lacking in your life, whether it was love or physical connection or frickin' having a supportive family or whatever it was in your life that was lacking, your drug of choice was like the hack that made that go away. When you put it in there, it took whatever it was you were longing for in your life and it just said, okay, I don't have that, so instead we're going to type in this little hack code here. There, now you don't need that because you have this instead. It almost hacked our brain and gave us that pleasure that we needed from other things because we were lacking in our lives, you know? And once you get that program out, once you get that out, now you have to fill that hole with what is actually needed. You know, now you actually have to fill this void in your heart and this void in your life with what was supposed to be there in the first place. And love and connection and family and frickin' friendliness and food and just awesome things begin to fill that void, you know? And I'm never going back. That's all I can think. You know, sometimes I talk to people in early recovery, and I'm so happy that I talk to people in early recovery from meth addiction because it's so easy. Just went over 4 years and 4 months, actually, just the other day, 4 years and 4 months meth free. And it's easy for me to fall into complacency in my mindset of thinking, you know, because it's after 4 years and 4 months, like maintaining your recovery is a lot easier than coming into recovery in the first place. I like to compare it to cleaning your house after a party. If you just had a huge monster party in your house like the night before, right? There's people everywhere. There's a guy puking on the carpet. Somebody's spilling beer in the living room. They're breaking vases. Footprints everywhere. Muddy, dirty, tracked up house. Empty cups, empty bottles. There's a guy sleeping on the counter. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking a raging party. And that party's over. The next day, you got to wake up and you got to clean up this whole house, right? And it can be like, where do I start? But you just start. Wherever you start, and you start cleaning that house. And it takes frickin' work, and it's hard, and it sucks, and it's dirty, and it's gross. But once you get the house cleaned up, maintaining that clean house is a lot easier than cleaning everything in one day. You know, the same thing goes for recovery. In the beginning of recovery, it's like you just had this monster party and now you're cleaning up after it, right? You're cleaning up all the broken stuff. You're cleaning up all the messes you made. You're cleaning up all the damage that you did in your partying. And now, once you've done all that, it takes more than a day in recovery, of course. You know, the party we had lasted years, so a lot of times the cleanup takes a few years as well. So it takes a couple of years to get cleaned up and get things sorted back out and get everything organized and put everything back together. But once you got a clean house, it's so much easier to maintain. And once you're at that level of clean house, it's so easy to forget what it was like when the party just ended. It's so easy to sit in our clean house with our frickin', the vases all put back together and the pictures are back hung up on the wall and everything's clean and tidy. And it's so easy to sit in this clean house for a while and all of a sudden start to forget what it was like when you were back on your hands and knees the day after waking up after that party and cleaning up that floor and cleaning out and fixing the vase and getting the guys out of your house and all that stuff. You know, it's so easy for me into a distant memory. And I'm very thankful for that. But it's really good for me to talk to people. Like, I talk to a lot of people who are in their first few months of recovery, and it's awesome to talk to them so that I can relive that a little bit. Remind myself where I am. Remind myself what I've been through. And I can say, oh yeah, wow, I totally forgot about that stuff, So thank God for those people in early recovery. Honestly, in the rooms, they say they're the most important in the room, and in here, I say the same thing too. They are the most important people that are ever gonna friggin' be here in this video. The most important people that I'm ever gonna talk to are the people that are just starting this journey and need a little bit of hope and a little bit of help along the way. Those are the best people in the world right there. Christy, I watch your videos, Matt, not because I have ever been an addict or of drugs or alcohol, but because my amazing sister has, and I like to know the support she has on here. And I want to say thank you for being so positive for her. Aw, thank you, Christy. I'm glad that my positivity shows through like that. And that's beautiful that you're here checking out what her support system looks like. You're not just sitting on the sidelines in her recovery and just saying, well, I hope she's doing the right thing. You're actually here watching my video, for one, so that you can see what she is watching, and for two, so maybe you can learn a little bit yourself and learn how to love her better. That's a freaking beautiful thing. So thank you so much for being here, Christy. Angie, yes, because the newcomers are still so close to the fire. Amen. Amen. And when you're so close to the fire and you don't recognize this world outside of that fire, it's so easy to decide to go back into that burning house. You know, oh, I left something in there. Oh, I got to go back in. I got to go back in and get my buddy out. Or I got to go back in and I got to do this. Or I got to go back in and get this. Oh, it's scary out here in the real world. I want to go back into that chaos, you know, or it's boring out here in the real world and I want to go back to that chaos. Like, it's so quick, so easy to pull us back in. Brian O'Brien, don't get complacent though. I relapsed at 4 years, 10 months clean. That really sucked. Right on. Thank you for the heads up there, Brian. I love hearing that kind of stuff too, because that, you know, hearing from people behind me is great, reminding me where I've been, but hearing from people ahead of me as well, that's friggin' even better. I love seeing the torches that are farther down the line, you know, and those people giving me heads up like this, like Brian. That's like he's walking on the trail ahead of me and he's shouting back to me, you know, hey, Matty, look out when you get up here. There's a big ass hole up here, dude. Right, there's a big asshole up here, dude. there's this big guy up here. He's kind of a dick. Just watch yourself for him. Thank you for the heads up, Brian. Christy, love you, Deborah. Have a great day. Amen. Amen. Deborah Ramirez is my Christy Hodges is my baby sister. Aw, good. I'm glad you're here then, Christy. That's awesome to hear. This is addiction is a family disease and recovery is the family solution right there. Me coming into recovery healed so much more than just myself, dude. Like, my whole family, all of my friends are friggin' helping so many. I mean, they're doing so much better, I should say. Like, that's a thing in recovery that we don't hear about enough, is not just the doing better in your own life, but seeing everybody around you freaking doing better too, and being surrounded by people who are being successful and people who are living the dream and actually making this recovery thing happen and starting their own businesses and just growing and developing as people. I absolutely love it. Jen Marie, it was only a temporary void filler. Right on. That's that frickin' bubblegum repair stuff, right? Kin Kak Wang. Keep it up. You are helping a lot of people from Malaysia. Right on. Thank you, Ken. I will keep doing it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Sue Whitelock. Whatever keeps you alive, do. If someone don't like it, do like Drew posted this morning. Snip, snip, ungone. Right on. Right on. Some need the meetings, some don't. Some need to express the addiction and share, some don't. Amen, Christy. Amen. That's for sure. You know, there's no reason to look down on anybody for any kind of freaking what they do in their recovery is none of your business, first of all. We take our own inventories here in recovery, right? We worry about what we're doing. We don't worry about what everybody else is doing or what works for them. We worry about what works for us, and we do what works for us, right? And I love that you said that some need to express the addiction and share, and some don't, because I really feel that same way. And that's a huge reason why I do this, because I have the ability to. I was called to do this. It just kind of came to me to start this page and start talking and start sharing about my recovery. And as I've gone through this, I've realized more and more how important it is that I continue to spread this message. But in the beginning, it was more of a selfish thing. I wanted to share so that I could get it off my chest. I felt like I needed to get some of this stuff out there and talk about it, and I needed to just say it to the world. I couldn't just tell the one person that it affected. I had to tell everybody. And over time, the reasons for continuing this page has changed, just like the reasons for staying in recovery change. The reasons for building this page and staying and keeping this as my career have changed along the way as well. Now I do it more for helping other people than I do it for helping myself, you know. But there are people out there who don't want to share about their recovery. They don't feel the need to open up about it, and there is nothing wrong with that as well, you know. I heard somebody say this weekend that, you know, if you're not out there spreading the message of hope and you're not out there trying to help other people come into recovery, then you're stealing, because you took advice and you took help along the way, and now you're not paying it back. You're not paying it forward. You're stealing from recovery. And I get what he was trying to say, trying to motivate you to go do it, but I didn't like the way that was expressed, because it was kind of finger pointy. You know what I mean? Like you're stealing if you don't get up here and talk about recovery. Like, what about somebody who has social anxiety disorders and somebody who has anxiety in general and somebody who just feels uncomfortable around people or somebody who doesn't like to open up and share their every little emotion like some of us do, you know? How can you look at that person and say, yeah, it's great that you got into recovery, but you stole your recovery because you're not helping other people. You're not sharing about it, so you stole it. I disagree. I disagree. We give this away and we do this for those people. That's why I do. That's another reason why I do this, because there's other people out there who don't want to do this, who can't do this, who don't feel led to do this. And that's cool because I did feel led to do this. I can do this. I do want to do this. So I got you, fam. If you don't want to share, that's okay. That's all right, because I will be up here double sharing for everybody that ain't sharing. You know what I mean? I'm here for the ones that don't want to speak. I'm here for the ones that can't speak anymore because they lost their battle. You know, that's why I'm here. Let's see, Sue, whatever keeps you alive. Oh, I already read that one. Already read that one. Coming back down. Let's see. Let's see. Brian, you look good from either side. That sounded funny. You know what I mean? Let's see. Angie, I had to address my mental health issues to get better. Amen. Amen. This is an inside job. That's for sure. Sue, your story may save someone's life. Shout them stories out. Right on. Amen. I love to live openly. I love to recover unanonymously. I don't like to hide behind, anything and, not be open about it or not let my entire town know that I do this. You know what I mean? I want everybody to know that I do this. I want everybody to know that it's possible. I want everybody to, you might not have a problem with addiction or anything, but maybe your family member does. Maybe an old friend from school that you found out is in the gutter. You know what I mean? And you're always going to this is always going to be necessary for people to hear this stuff, you know? Oh, Sue, you missed my top one. Oh, man. Oh, this guy, I tell you what. Matty Jablonsky. He's no good. He's no good. My son said MAT programs are just the way the government to make money off of addicts. I'm 100% weed only. Amen, Sue. I could see why he would think that. In some ways, that's true. In some ways, it's true, especially like for when they keep people on MAT programs for a long time, and they keep you on Suboxone or Subutex or methadone or whatever for, indefinitely. In some cases, they just keep you on it, which. I go both ways on this because I myself am against pharmaceuticals. That's the way I live my life. That doesn't mean you have to. You know what I mean? Some people, pharmaceuticals is what helps them. So I swore off pharmaceuticals a long time ago. But those pharmaceutical drugs were designed and used for temporary purposes. They were supposed to help you literally step down, not step down to a lower step and then stay on that step. They were meant to be step down to this and then step away. That way you don't have such a harsh withdrawal to get through. It doesn't frickin' kill you going through withdrawal. But then they realized that people would stay on it, so they kept keeping people on it. And it's unfortunate, but to each their own, like I said before. Whatever keeps you away from doing what you were doing before. Let's see. Seuss is not that one. Well, then you're SOL. You are up the creek without a paddle, young lady. All right? I'm moving on. We're moving on. Hey, Jessica Kelly, how are you? Good to see ya, Angie. But if someone is on maintenance and it keeps them clean, it's better than coming off and using. It's a double-edged sword, really. Amen. Thank you for pointing that out, Angie. That's why it's so hard to talk about a recovery process and just talk about one way of recovering, because everybody recovers differently, and that's why I tiptoe back and forth when I talk about MAT drugs, because for one, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but the studying that I've done and the research that I've done points to you probably shouldn't stay on those drugs for a long time because there are adverse side effects of staying on methadone and Subutex and Suboxone for a long time. There are some pretty bad side effects over the course of 5-10 years of being on it. So it's I like what you said there. It's a double-edged sword, really, because it keeps them away from the other stuff, but the shitty end of it is somebody on Subutex or Suboxone or methadone. They're good as long as they have their prescription. As long as they have the prescription and they're keeping up with it, they're good, they're fine. But when you keep them on it for a long period of time until they develop a physical dependence to the maintenance drug, that person, what happens when the pharmacy doesn't open up one day, or the pharmacy is closed and you're out of your Suboxone, or you're out of your methadone, or you're out of whatever, and you can't get more. That's when we see all of a sudden the addiction is still very much alive, and you kind of see that it was pacified, and that worries me about the pharmaceutical grades. Now, marijuana, that's why I'm all for cannabis instead, because you can go a few days without it and you're not going to friggin' die. You're not going to have all of a sudden an urge that that the marijuana was subduing your urges this entire time. And all of a sudden it's, you don't have marijuana for a day and you freak out and go get heroin, I mean, I'm not saying that's impossible, that would never happen, but it's less likely to happen. You're not going to fall into withdrawals from not having weed for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I am so pro cannabis for maintenance drugs, and even for helping people detox and things like that. I'm all for legalization of cannabis. Sue, I was telling you my granddaughter's mom is 5.5 months clean and looks like her old self, so maybe she will have one parent live even though she ain't seen her in years. Awesome, Sue. That's good news. That really is. Josh and Lori Mutimer, what's up, guys? Showing up right at the tail end. Thank you guys so much for this live. This was freaking awesome. You guys are just the best commenters in the world, and I love you guys so much. And I love that we still got 13 people hanging out here. We know how to party, right? We know how to party right here at the point of change. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you got a good message out of this. I hope maybe you learned something, or you can take something away from this. Thanks to everybody who went over to YouTube. If you missed that, get over to YouTube and search for either Matty Jablonsky or The Point of Change. Search for either of those. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm trying to build that up as well, and build the Facebook. Of course, we're still building Facebook, so make sure you share this video as well. But we are dual streaming now. So if anybody you know out there that doesn't have Facebook, but they do have access to YouTube, and you've been trying to get them to come to my videos, we're on YouTube now, guys. I love you guys so much. I'm really glad to have you guys here. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to head to work shortly. So until I see you tomorrow for Tuesday.